All right, we are live. Welcome. It is Monday night. Let's get some sponsors out of the way. First sponsor, Nature Box. Eat. You eat. Everybody eats snacks, but most of the stuff you eat out there, it's just almost garbage. So step up your snack game, son. Hit up Nature Box. Now, Nature Box are snacks that are much better for you than the Twinkie you're eating right now while watching this. So come on, feel a little bit of guilt. Get yourself some healthier snacks from Nature Box. Go to CrossBonesMMA.com and click on the Nature Box banner. Get yourself some good snacks, son. We're also brought to you by F3 Foods. Are you trying to lose weight? Trying to get in shape? Of course we all are. We all want the ladies or guys, whatever you're into. But you want to get noticed. Nature Box is a huge part of that. Get yourself a plan. Get yourself eating right and eating good. All right? They got meals. They got choices. They got it all. Get your shit together. Get yourself eating right. Go to the getfitprogram.com, thegetfitprogram.com, and use the code word CrossBones. That's CROSSBONES, all one word, at checkout for a discount. Also, Troxafin, get your testosterone up. You want to build lean muscle? If you maybe you don't have issues getting it up for your lady, but maybe you want to get it stronger, or maybe you do have issues getting it up for your lady. You don't want to go get Viagra because it's embarrassing. Try this stuff out because not only can it's going to give you testosterone a little boost to get it up, but also going to help you with your muscle. You work out, you want a little bit of boost, get yourself some Troxafin. Go to CrossBonesMMA.com and click on the banner in the store and affiliates page for more. Also, Americana has them shirts you want. They don't cost $50 each like everything else everybody else sells. Reebok. Go to CrossBonesMMA.com and click on the banner in the store and affiliates page. They have some sick t-shirts. I got quite a few of them, and I want to get this new one that says, quote, the MMA media is a whore, because it's 100% true and hilarious at the same time. So get them shirts, people. And last but not least, we're brought to you by On It. They make Alpha Brain, Hemp Force, and kettlebells that look like they'll bite your dick off while you're working out. If you want some motivation, as Joe Rogan says, nothing more motivating than a chimpanzee possibly about to rip your dick off with its mouth. Some of you freaks probably like that, but and by the way, for that reference of a dick sucking monkey, chimp or whatever, look up Dave Chappelle's got a good joke on that. But otherwise, don't do that. Don't stick your member, your fella, into a chimpanzee's mouth. It will get ripped off and tossed in the tall grass, or worse, swallowed. Anyway, so go to CrossBonesMMA.com and click on that link for more. You can go to CrossBonesMMA.com and click on the store and affiliates page for all this stuff and for details. And now, finally, welcome to Bad Decisions with Eddie Law. Now on Monday nights. Yes, this is a late night MMA talk show hosted by yours truly, Eddie Law. And we get to all of your important MMA issues that are hitting today, all the current stuff. So speaking of which, on today's show, 3 separate events went down this last weekend, and we'll look at some of the fights from each card, who made noise, who's on their way up, and who messed up. Also, Bellator books 2 ancient dudes to fight in what looks like another circus fight for the promotion, and a money grab for probable money grab for the 2 fighters. Also had the welcome to the show presser that went down before UFC 184. And this one's kind of weird, but Burt Watson is rumored to have quit the UFC. I'll give you some details on that. And, of course, the weekly rant. So let's get after it. All right. So Friday night brought 2 MMA events. So we start off with Bellator 134 that went down in Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun, headlined by light heavyweight champion Emmanuel Newton defending his belt against Liam McGreary, the Brit. Let's run through the results here. All right. So as we know, Bellator was bringing they call it the British invasion, which was, I want to say 3/4 right, because there was quite a few guys that aren't British in it, but still pretty entertaining card for a free card for the most part. Running through the results here, Blair Tugman. I can't even talk. It's Monday night. Blair Tugman defeats Marvin Maldonado via unanimous decision. Then Neiman Gracie defeats Bobby Flynn via crossface crank. That was kind of cool. But what do you expect from anybody named Gracie that does jiu-jitsu? So after that, Tamnan McCrory defeats Jason Butcher via armbar in the first minute of the fight. It was cool, but Butcher, not too high on that guy right now. Rafael Butler defeats Josh Diekman. Sorry, I'm like 12 years old. Diekman via guillotine choke in the first round. Then Matt Bassett defeats Josh LeBerge via TKO doctor stoppage. I actually missed that fight, so I'm going to have to look up exactly what happened, but I'm assuming a nasty cut. Then the headliner for your prelim bouts for Bellator 134, Dean Hancock defeats Mike Magnan. You know what? If anyone's bad at last names, it's me. I'm just letting you know. Even although John, my brother John Galloway, he's not much better than me, but regardless. Anyway, Dean Hancock defeats Mike Magnan via submission, rear naked choke, also first minute. So we get what in those prelims, you get one decision. Not a bad prelim card. Then the first main bout for the main card, Brandon Ward defeats Curtis Millender via rear naked choke in the first minute as well. Another finish. Then Linton Vassell defeats Sokoju via strikes second round. Not sure what Sokoju's still going at it, man. It just seems like he's worn out. And Vassell's a freaking fun striker, man. He just took it to him. So big win for the Brits right there. First, I think that was the first Englishman to win his fight that night. After that, unless Ward, I'm not sure if Ward's English or not, but I think his nickname is like the Irish something or other. Anyway, after that, King Mo defeats Czech Congo via split decision. Not the most entertaining fight. I actually got to watch it for the first time because I actually missed that fight. I was doing the ULI, which is my podcast, my personal, I'll call it personal, but my other podcast that I do on Friday nights. Don't miss it. Check my Twitter for details on Friday nights or Friday afternoons. Then anyway, so King Mo, what I heard is King Mo took Czech Congo down, and it was just like that. And then when I watched it, that's basically what happened. King Mo just doing what he does, wrestling. He's a good wrestler. Czech Congo didn't get too many strikes off either. And again, I was checking Twitter during my podcast. A lot of people were saying it was a boring fight. Sorry, some people are hitting me up right now. Apologize to people on the live feed. Anyway, then in the main event, of course, we get Emmanuel Newton against Liam McGreary. Actually, I take it back. I'm skipping Paul Daly. I actually got to see that fight. Paul Daly looks really, really good. But freaking big ups to Andre Santos for not getting knocked out. Daly beats him via unanimous decision, but Santos took some punishment there. Daly was just throwing like he was pretending to be Tyson. It was crazy. Just the overhand rights. That left what do you call it? Left hook? That left hook that he has is crazy. But Daly has his straight right that is underrated, and that's weird to say about Paul Daly, who's a heavy-handed guy. But his straight right is underrated as hell, and he gets that win. People are still asking why he isn't in the UFC. Well, I would just say ask Dana White with his never agains. That's like the only one that's stuck so far. Every other, never ever again or never ever has just broken. Now in the main event, Liam McGreary is your new Bellator light heavyweight champ by defeating Emmanuel Newton via unanimous decision. This was a fun fight. It was actually pretty good overall. And I'm not a big fan of decisions, but when it's a fight that I believe is this good, I don't mind it at all. And McGreary definitely deserves a win, but I want to see a rematch. Of course, it was just a close fight, I think, and a lot of people disagree with me with that, by the way. But look at the scores: 48-46. That's kind of handed. 48-47, 48-47. So I think Newton deserves a rematch. Maybe not right away. I don't know if Bellator does that the way the UFC does, over and over again. But definitely Newton deserves a shot at getting his belt back. I'm not gonna lie, I've never been a Newton fan ever, but he's a weird guy, but he's a different guy. He's not your usual MMA fighter. He listens to a lot of weird stuff. Everyone thinks he's because he's black, he's like hip hop dude and whatnot. No, he's all about metal and punk and all that stuff. So, which is I like to see different different guys getting in there. So that does it for Bellator 134. But on the same night, straight from Los Angeles, California, and only available on UFC Fight Pass. This is not it's not a commercial for it. I just happen to like Fight Pass because I had a lot of old fights like Pride and all that. But regardless, it was only available on Fight Pass, so I'm not lying. Invicta FC 11 brought out the women's MMA flavor, headlined by Chris Cyborg defending her featherweight title against Charmaine Tweet. And we'll talk about that fight in a second because damn. But kicking off in the prelims, and it was the first time I think that Invicta had a prelims on there. Aspen Ladd defeats Ana Vidal via TKO strikes in the first round. After that, Christine Stanley defeats Laura Salazar via TKO strikes in the first round as well. Salazar came in, I don't know how short notice it was, but it was pretty damn short notice. And she missed weight, but again, super short notice. And Stanley took advantage of the fact that Salazar hadn't trained. Didn't have a fight camp. I believe. A lot of most of these girls train year round, but Salazar didn't have much of a fight camp at all, if any. So ended up losing. I don't really mind that. I think she should get another shot in Invicta. After that, Amy Montenegro defeats Brianna Van Buren via unanimous decision. Overall, straight over fight. Just straight up fight that Montenegro kind of pretty much dominated, I think. Wow, excuse me. Then Jamie Moore defeats JJ Aldrich via submission rear naked choke in the first round. That was kind of cool. I like JJ Aldrich, so I was kind of surprised that she got submitted like that. But the next one was a huge, surprise. Irene Aldana, who's by the way from my hometown of Guadalajara in Mexico, defeated Colleen Schneider via submission rear naked choke in the first minute of the first round. Why is this surprising? Because Schneider is trained by the one and only catch wrestling king, Josh Barnett. So the last thing I expected was a submission of any kind. I expected maybe a TKO, maybe a decision win for Aldana. But to get submitted, to get a submission in that fight, I think it's big for Aldana because it shows her versatility. Nobody ever talks really about her sub game because we haven't seen a whole lot of it. But her striking is on point. And what do you expect when you're training with somebody like Alexa Grasso, who has incredible boxing skills? And we'll talk about her in a second, because Deanna Bennett defeats Norma Rueda via unanimous decision in the. The scores are all right. 30-27 is pretty damn dominant. And then 29-28, 29-28. Then in the co-main event, a fight that I was pretty much the only one I was looking forward to because I thought it was going to be very competitive. Alexa Grasso defeats Mizuki Inoue via unanimous decision. First round went pretty much to Grasso with the strikes and all that, because I think she ended up too in on top at the very end. But we've seen Grasso in trouble on the ground. She had some issues with Inoue and got herself in a couple submissions, but she would get out of it and then get back on the feet and land the strikes again. So I would call it an almost dominant fight by Grasso. But Inoue impressed a lot. I'm definitely going to be looking out for her to fight again. Then in the main event, Chris Cyborg defeats Charmaine Tweet via holy shit, what the fuck happened in the first round. 46 seconds in, gets the strikes, and I can't even describe it. I'm not going to. I think you should go online right now and just type in Cyborg Charmaine Tweet and then just look like this. It's like through one eye, because oh man, you just feel horrible for Charmaine Tweet. She got just destroyed. I think her nose got busted up. It's I don't know. It's kind of dragged out the way it happened. So anyway, a couple fighters I want to talk about. Irene Aldana. Word is that maybe she challenges or she takes on Tanya Evinger for the 135-pound belt. I'd love to see that fight. I do think Tanya might be a bit much of an opponent for her right now. I think Aldana should take on another fight maybe first. But at the same time, Aldana's her stock is pretty damn high right now. So if it's any time for her to be a champion now. But look, a lot of people shit on Tanya Evinger. First of all, I don't like that. It's kind of, not that I don't like it. I don't care for it, but at the same time, you need to give her some respect. That girl comes to fight every time. And so, and then another thing too, I don't know who it is saying that she needs a few more fights to get to the UFC. Isn't she like on a 6-fight win streak, a 7-fight win streak? How much more do you need? Right. But if you get Tanya Evinger the title fight now, which I believe is what they're going to do, and she wins it, I don't see any way how you don't get her a fight in the UFC at least. So give her a shot. I think she can make some noise in the UFC for sure. Not to mention Evinger, it's just a hard-nosed fighter that gives zero shit. She'll get in there and throw down with anybody. So very fun to watch. And of course, Alexa Grasso, she's going to be in the UFC soon for sure. But I think she's going to want to get that Invicta FC belt first. But the UFC is known to get a little bit, greedy and take as many as it can from Invicta, which they basically did with the 115-pounders. But Grasso's going to be in the UFC regardless anyway, and I think she's going to make some noise. Of course, she's fought a lot of a few girls, but I don't think she's fought anyone that's UFC caliber. So her striking is there. The ground game's when I'm concerned ish about, because we haven't seen a whole lot of it till this last fight, where she got out of trouble. But I don't know. I think she needs to improve just a little bit more. But hey, if they get her in there now, I'm all for it. And of course, the one thing everyone wants to know is when is Charmaine or Chris Cyborg going to fight Ronda Rousey? If it happens, great. In fact, today there's been a lot of noise on Twitter. Cyborg tweeted Ronda Rousey saying, "Hey, do you need Lorenzo's number so we can get this fight scheduled?" The only question is, can Cyborg make 135 pounds? On Sunday morning, she tweeted out a picture of her scale saying that after breakfast on Sunday, she weighed in at 175. To cut down from 175 to 135, and there's words, there's some girls that come from higher, but I'm sure. But Chris Cyborg coming from 175 to 135 it's got to be bad for her health. So they gotta think about that first. She's got to prove it. She's got to prove that she can cut down to that weight. She hasn't yet. She's made it 145. The one time she was supposedly attempting to make 135, she got injured. And I say injured because I don't know. A lot of look. It's just the thing out there that sometimes fighters will say they're injured if they're not going to make weight, and that's possible. I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm just saying it's possible. So, but I'm kind of tired of the question of when is she going to fight, Ronda? And I would love to see that fight if for sure they can make if they can make she can make 135. So again, the talk's out there right now. They're talking about a super fight and all sorts of stuff. I'm sure the money would be there. It's just the weight. What is the weight going to be at? And look, if it's a catch weight, the belt should not be on the line. If Chris Cyborg can make 135, damn right, put the belt on the line and see what's what. And even then, after seeing Ronda's performances last weekend, I'm not saying that she runs through Cyborg, but I think I think that would be an epic fight if it actually happened. So that being said, let's talk about that pay-per-view. Saturday night brings the pay-per-view that went down in LA, the one everyone. Oh, okay. Let's slow down for a second. I'll say this first. It's supposed to be Vitor and Chris Weidman fighting for the belt with Ronda as a co-main. But once Chris Weidman busted that rib, they moved Ronda Rousey versus Kat Zingano as the main event, and your co-main was Holly Holm against Raquel Pennington. A lot of questions in those two fights, but it was headline and co-main by women, and I don't believe that's happened yet for a pay-per-view. But I haven't heard anything about the numbers yet. But I wouldn't think that it broke any records, and I don't think it did huge numbers. If it did, great. It's great for women's MMA, and it should. But I just think there's still a lot or a little bit of some craziness with the people still kind of poo-pooing, for lack of a better term, women's MMA. I think it's stupid to do that. I think women are just as talented, and they bring great fights. The only problem is, of course, is the talent pool at 135 for Ronda Rousey. And I thought Kat Zingano had it, but let's talk about the results here. Kicking off the UFC Fight Pass prelims, Macio Fullen defeats Alexander Torres via split decision. Fullen from Mexico, Torres from Colombia. Both of these guys were on that tough Latin America season, which I found very entertaining. Of course, it was in Spanish and I understood it, so it was easy. But a lot of people didn't watch it. I don't know why. Part of it had to do with the fact that it was on UFC Fight Pass. But if you have Fight Pass, and you want to go back and watch some of those fights they had on there and some of the garbage they pulled in the house, I found it entertaining. So, but anyway, Macio Fullen, in the first round, he got handled. He got rocked quite a few times by Torres. And then Fullen came back and just dominated the second and third round. So split decision, I don't agree with. Should be unanimous in my opinion. But regardless, Fullen gets the win just like it should have been. And I want to see Torres back in there against somebody else and see if he can pull off a win that way. But Torres is actually a lot of fun to watch as well. A lot of hard striking from that kid. But Fullen has a lot of heart to have survived a lot of that whooping. After that, Vladimir Lazaro defeats James Cross via split decision. Another fun fight. It was a great way to kick off this card. Cross took quite a bit of chances, I think, and then Lazaro took advantage of some. By the third round, both guys were gassed. I mean, the pace fight was going. That was fun. It was fast, and so both guys were kind of just like throwing whatever they had left in the third round. Went split decision. Lazaro out of that Nova União gym with Jose Aldo and Renan Barral, so I expected a little bit better striking from him. It was good striking, not gonna lie, but it wasn't the pace or the kind of striking that Aldo has or that Renan Barral has. So as this guy grows and gets better, I would expect some better fights from him. But good showing from both guys. So that UFC Fight Pass early prelims were definitely worth watching. Then in the first prelim for Fox Sports 1, Derek Lewis defeats Juan Potts via TKO in the second round. This was sad because after the first round, at the end of the first round, you actually heard Juan Potts say, "I'm done." He said, "I'm done." And his corner still sent him out there for the third round, which is jacked up because Potts took a whooping. And it was bad. And overall was bad. It was bad cornering. In my opinion, it was bad reffing too. To not realize that Potts was basically, he had nothing left in him. But those corners should be definitely talked to for sending him back out there like that, especially when the fighter doesn't want to. When he says, "I'm done," and send him back out, it's jacked up. After that, Tim Means obliterates Diego Lima via strikes. That dude was pissed off and he came in to show it. And I believe he got a bonus out of it. So I would like to see Tim Means taking some higher caliber fighters, but he does seem to not show up against better fighters. So, and man, I'm so disappointed that Diego Lima isn't such a big thing right now. His brother Doug is great, and I would love to see him in the UFC. But I thought Diego would be able to make some noise, and so far he just has. I don't know if it's bad luck. He should switch camps. I don't know, but he's got to do something because he has the potential. He's just not living up to it. After that, Roman Salazar against Kid Yamamoto ends up being a no contest because Yamamoto pokes Salazar in the eye so badly, couldn't see out of the left eye. We'll talk about that piece of reffing from our buddy Big John. McCarthy. We'll talk about it in a second. We're in a minute. That was disappointing in my opinion. After that, Juan Carnero defeats Mark Munoz via technical submission, rear naked choke in the first minute 40 in the first round. Another piece of incredible refereeing. It's just, God, what the hell is going on with these refs these days? But we'll talk about that in a few here. In the first fight of the main card on pay-per-view, Tony Ferguson defeats Gleason Tebow via rear naked choke in the first round. Damn, is this guy good? I mean, when are you going to get him someone in the top 10? This guy's going to be sick. I mean, I can't wait till he gets up there and gets a title shot. Ferguson and Kukuya is like a guy that everyone – he's that guy that's really good, and he's like in the back in the shadows or under the radar, winning, and people just keep dismissing him like, yeah, whatever. But he made a statement this weekend, and I think it's time to give him somebody really good, and let him climb that ladder to the title shot. I think he'd be a great challenge. Anyway, after that, Alan Joban defeats Richard Walsh via knockout. The elbow was nasty. Elbow right to the side of the head. Walsh just had nothing. He just drops, and it was like a breakdance. He's bobbing, tries to pop back up, and the ref's like, nope, no more. And that's good ref. That's knowing when a fighter is out, because if he comes back up, Joe Bond's already ready to jack him up some more. So he got saved out of from any further damage. All right. After that, Jake Ellenberger defeats Josh Koscheck via another beautiful freaking piece of reffing. In a submission north-south choke. That was cool because he gets him in the choke, and Koscheck realizes he's in trouble, and he tries to drop out of it. Doesn't work. Jake Ellenberger drops full weight. He's just cranking the hell out of that thing. Koscheck just freaking trying to get out of it, trying to roll out of it, trying to find ways to get out. Couldn't do it. We've all seen that picture at this point, but if you haven't seen it, go on Twitter and just type in Josh Koscheck and just look at pictures, because he's foaming out of the mouth by the time he taps. I think that's another one where the ref should have realized that Koscheck had nowhere to go and had nothing left, and shouldn't have. I mean, maybe waited for the tap, but you should. I mean, come on, when you see foam coming out of a fighter's mouth, don't you assume something's wrong with him? At least, I'm not 100% sure what the procedure is when the ref sees that, but I think they would. I don't know, something's got to be there. They got to do something about that. So I'm not going to 100% say that it was terrible reffing, but goddamn, that was scary. Anyway, in the co-main event, Holly Holm defeats Raquel Pennington via split decision. I'll say this: had Pennington gotten a couple of those takedowns, that fight would have been Pennington's. I thought, look, she hung in there with a champion boxer. Holly Holm was scary, and her kicks are even scarier for the fact that she hasn't been doing it, too damn long. She is 8-0 now. She wasn't defeated in MMA, but Holly Holm also showing she's not ready for a Ronda Rousey. Yeah, she did stuff to takedowns, but that was, that isn't a judo tossing you on your ass takedown, and I think Rousey's I think she's quite a bit away from fighting Rousey. I don't think you throw Holly Holm in there just yet. I think you give her 2-3 more fights and then give her a Ronda Rousey. If Rousey is still in the UFC, by the way, because I'm one of those that's convinced Rousey's not going to be around that much longer. She's made plenty of money. She's doing plenty of movies now. She's got another one coming out or coming up to film in, I think, May. But I don't know. She's gonna have to improve a lot quicker and be just really good before they give her a Ronda Rousey fight, or they're gonna have to hype her up big time. I mean, that's what they did with pretty much everybody else. So, speaking of Rousey, Ronda Rousey defeats Kat Zingano via armbar, it was a weird armbar, by the way, but via armbar in the first round, 14 seconds in. What the hell? By the way, I heard it was they should have been 12, but 14, whatever's the official. But the hell was Kat Zingano thinking? Running in there, I mean, yeah, I'm sure she was trying to start fast. But by the way, Rousey said she expected it. They were talking about that in her camp that Zingano's got this issue with starting off slow, and she wanted to change it. And so they thought about that. They figured that out. But the problem with Kat Zingano was she went in there and tried to throw Ronda. She did throw her, but a judoka. Look, if you watch anybody that's good at judo, you'll see that when they get thrown, they find a way to use that momentum and flip you back over. And Rousey did just that masterfully. I mean, it was beautiful. And to get, Kat in that kind of arm bar by getting the arm behind the armpit is like, what the fuck? And when she tapped, it was like, what happened? I had to watch that replay 15 times. Everyone was confused at what the hell had just happened. So, and look, credit to Ronda Rousey. She's a great champion. Sure, against Miesha Tate, she didn't shake her hand. That's just personal. Look, anybody here that's got a significant other, a lady, knows that they take a lot of things personal, and that was personal. But Rousey went over and kneeled in front of Kat Zingano, and gave her a hug and told her she deserved a rematch and all that. And she said it again in the post-fight press conference. And I think Kat Zingano deserves one too. And Zingano was super emotional. I did not like that Joe Rogan was in her face at the very end, just pushing the questions. Like, dude, leave her alone. She's freaking crying. She's about to burst out in tears, man. But that's one of those things where the truck's talking to you in your ear, asking, telling you to ask her questions and shit. But Rousey's showing that she's a beast, and the only fight out there that's making sense right now is that Rousey Cyborg fight. But again, come on, But will we see it? I don't know. Will I don't think so. And if you want my opinion, I don't think we ever see that fight. I don't think Cyborg can make 135. I don't think she's gonna attempt it. Okay, let's say she attempts it. She already tried it one time. She got injured, so we gotta. I take that into consideration definitely, because I think if she couldn't make weight back then, what has changed? I gotta ask the question: is have maybe the steroids that she did before, because she's been caught with steroids, have they taken its toll permanently on her body? I don't know. And there's science out there that says that she has, that steroids do make permanent changes to your body. Have they affected her in a way that make it so she's too heavy to make 135, or make it harder for her to cut weight? We don't know. But if she makes another attempt, we'll find out. We'll find out if she's able to. If she's able to make those changes physically to make 135 and finally challenge. But let's get into a couple of these refs things before I calm down, because I don't want to. So the refs for the Potts and Koscheck fights were asinine. Potts was clearly said he didn't want no more. He didn't want nothing. He wanted no piece of Derek Lewis in the second round, but his irresponsible ass corner sent him out anyway. And then he took a massive amount of punishment before the ref called it. And I know it was more on the corners than the ref, but damn, come on, dude. And then it took Koscheck foaming from the mouth like a rabid dog and barely tapping for the ref to call that bout. But the two worst fails in the night from the refs came in his next two fights. First off, the Kid Yamamoto, Roman Salazar fight. We had eye pokes. His eyes, look, man, Kid Yamamoto poked his eye so bad that Salazar couldn't see out of his left eye. And then Big John comes up and he can be heard saying, "Can you see?" To which Salazar replies that he couldn't. And then Big John followed up with this gem of a question when he said, "But can you fight?" I couldn't tell if he was serious. The question might have been phrased much better by asking, "Are you willing to continue fighting?" or something like that. But the man can't see, and as a ref who's there, your job as a ref is to watch for the fighter's well-being. Of course he shouldn't fight with one freaking eye. What are you talking about? This wasn't a title fight where a fighter has worked so hard to get to that opportunity that they're willing to risk their eyesight for the chance to win this fight. You're not freaking Michael Bisping, who gives zero shits about anything and goes into the fight. It's a freaking prelim fight, man. Get the hell out of here with that. Come on, man. We all love Big John. What the fuck was he talking about? Can you still fight? It's a prelim fight. I'm not risking my eyesight for anything more than the title. I'm just saying. And I'm sure Salazar did the right thing by saying no more. The doctor did the right thing by stopping the bout. And he saves himself from any permanent damage. But man, what a weekend. Just brought the heat in MMA, in my opinion, when it comes to some of the best fighters on the planet, especially in Invicta FC, which is, of course, women's MMA only. And I find it really weird that people still have such a hard time accepting women's MMA as more than taboo. It's got to be a generational thing. Some people still live in the freaking 50s, man. It's ridiculous. It's like when people still think that weed is gonna mess your life up. Look, man, first of all, marijuana is not gonna mess your life up. Okay, if your life sucks while you're doing marijuana, it's because your life is gonna suck anyway. All right, cheeseburgers would have done that shit. All right, your lack of self motivation and giving a shit about yourself would have done that. Weed had nothing to do with it. It's just there. Weed's not for everybody. That's just the thinking from people from back in the day that were, that watched Reefer Madness and all that garbage. So anyway, and look, if you don't like it, I know I'm kind of going off I'm definitely going off the MMA topic, but if you don't like it, like, I get it. But I just don't believe we should judge people that do it, because of what you believe as far as, what your morals are. Look, people want to do something and do it. Regardless of what you think. So anyway, back to the MMA thing. And I just think it's weird that people don't accept women's MMA just yet. A lot of people don't like it, but I think it just depends on how some people were raised, like I was saying, and whether the upbringing allows for more open-minded evolution. So if you're that close-minded about women's MMA, and I'm not trying to disrespect anyone who can't bring themselves to watch it and accept it, But maybe you're just one of those people who doesn't want to try to accept anything new because it might challenge some archaic belief that you have about women's roles in society. Or maybe it's just not your cup of tea. I just want people to be honest about how they feel about women's MMA instead of using some BS excuse or some BS reason to cover it all up. But that, my friends, is opening up a whole another can of worms, and we got plenty more to talk about today. So, and yeah, we have something to talk about today. You know, I'm not a fan of Bellator bringing back old UFC fighters to headline their cards so they can, you know, capitalize on the fighters' fans. And they just did that with Stephan Bonner and Tito Ortiz, and the promotion bragged about getting the highest ratings ever. You know, first of all, their highest ratings came, they came for the event, for the main event, which was just minutes after the UFC pay-per-view ended. So people were like, free, screw it, it's free, let's check it out. But they're also using two former UFC legends. Ortiz held the 205 title for a long time, and Bonner was part of that tough fight that helped put the UFC and MMA on the map when he took on Forrest Griffin. But regardless, here comes another one for Bellator. They have booked two former UFC guys now, and they will have a 41-year-old Kimbo Slice returning to MMA after not fighting for a few years, taking on 51-year-old Ken Shamrock, who hasn't fought in even longer. Like, I can't remember the last time he fought. And he's scheduled to participate. On top of it, Shamrock is going to take on a bare-knuckle boxing match before this fight even goes down. Why? Dude, come on, but come on now with the freak shows, man. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, you're disrespecting Shamrock and everything. I'm like, no, I care about Shamrock and his legacy. Why come back and do a freak show fight and some circus garbage to, in order to make, and I get the money thing. I do understand it. But, I don't know, man. It just bothers the hell out of me that he's doing it. But, now Shamrock went on the usual, media PR campaign to promote his fight. But he kept saying the usual things like this is for the fans and to help the sport evolve. He even went as far as to say to give MMA fans more choices. First of all, there are plenty of choices, just none of them are the caliber of the UFC. Second, let's be real, man. All right, this is about money for you. You need the money. Bellator offered you something to fight, and you took it. That's great. All well and good. Get paid, man. Do what you got to do to get that money. But please don't feed me this bullshit that you're doing it for the fans or for the sport or any garbage like that. Be honest about it. The one thing I like about Chael Sonnen is that even when he was full of shit as far as lying and all this other stuff, he was at least honest about it. All right, after he got caught with all that, all his PEDs and stuff like that, he was like, "Yeah, I did it." Yeah, he at least came out clean and stuff like that. But he was honest for the most part as far as that stuff goes. A lot of other people are really honest, but I believe Shamrock needs to be honest about it and Slice, or just don't say anything. Be like Kimbo Slice, don't say a word. At least I haven't heard any Kimbo Slice interviews yet. I'll look those up after the show and see what he's saying, but. Don't come out and say, it's for the fans, it's for the sport, blah, 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 blah. It's the same old garbage that we've been fed for years from fighters that are doing it for the money. And look, again, if you're doing it for the money, great. If you're doing it for the love of sport, awesome. And if you're actually doing it for the fans, fine. But number one, my friend, and we all know it, is money. So get that money, Ken. Just please don't BS the fans about it because it's just, come on. And I'm starting to wonder about Scott Coker, man. His experiment of bringing in, for lack of a better term, washed up UFC fighters, it's going to backfire sometime. I think it's got to backfire sometime, At what point will fans start to call Bellator and Coker out on this garbage? The Bonner versus Tito fight was terrible. I mean, it was garbage. Just terrible. And you cannot expect much better from either Kimbo, who has bad knees, or Shamrock, who's 51 years old. That's all I got to say. He's 51. So, so much for Bellator trying to bring up the younger guys and make their own stars, right? I mean, regardless, if you ask me who I'm picking, I got Shamrock. Right? As long as he doesn't get destroyed in that bare knuckle fight he's planning on doing. I'll take Shamrock taking Kimbo Slice down and tearing one of those knees apart any day. And that's just because of the jiu-jitsu thing. So I don't know, man. It's super I find it irritating. I don't like freak shows, and I don't like fighters getting used for freak shows, and I don't like dishonesty. And it's just weird, man. I really hope that Bellator turns that ship and starts working on their younger guys and give them a reason to stick around too, because a lot of those guys just want to go to the UFC, but give them a reason to stay. So anyway, all right, now that I'm calm, kind of. The UFC held another press conference, just like the time is now. But yeah, they're doing this thing where they're announcing fights in seasons. So the last one they had was called The Time Is Now. This one's called Welcome to the Show, and it was a usual press conference where they had the fighters for the for most of the season's fights because they were missing Mark Hunt and Stipe, and Mirko Krokop, who's taking on Gabriel Gonzaga. They're in Poland doing PR. And it was all nice and everything, but the only thing that was really worth watching, completely honest with you, besides the fan questions, it was the prank brawl that Anthony Johnson and John Jones put together. I mean, they came together for a face-off and then pretending to start brawling, completely freaking Dana White out and giving Dave Scholler flashbacks that got him, running out of the building. It was, if you haven't seen it, look it up. You will laugh repeatedly. I'm not even kidding. The other thing that bothered me about the press conference is not one question for Jones. Everyone's like, "Oh, I feel you, man. It's great that you're helping yourself out, and it is great if he's actually doing something about it." And it's good that Jones is clean. He's like, "Hey, man, people mess up. I make mistakes. All great and everything." But I'm kind of disappointed that the drunk ass fans from LA didn't go, "Hey, man, what's up with the coke? You still doing cocaine or anything?" And I'm sure they were like, "I don't want to get kicked out of the press conference or whatever out of the presser." But come on, man. Well, one of you weirdos had to ask that question. Right? I thought LA had guts, but apparently not. Anyway, as far as these seasons press conferences go, I'm okay with them. What I don't like is that the media asks the same damn question every single time, which is what they did at the UFC 184 post-fight presser. They asked about Cyborg when he went 135 over and over and over and over again. Look, just because you ask the same question doesn't mean that the answer is going to change. You don't just ask the same question over and over and over again and then, wait for the answer that you want to come out, because that's what they were doing. I mean, okay, at least one certain douchebag that everyone knows I don't like, and I'll give you a hint. He works with the UFC and calls himself a journalist and loves to instigate shit and is the biggest culprit of all. But I'm sure even he knows that. There's no way he doesn't know that. That's the reason he's so damn famous, not famous, but he's so popular, I guess, is, he gets people talking. And look, good for him, right? But, he got there. But I'm just not a big fan. Anyway. Moving on, last night, a rumor that came out pretty damn late, too. And credit to Front Row Brian for breaking the story. Babysitter to the Stars, Burt Watson is reported to have quit working for the UFC. Now, rumor is that it had to do something with Mark Munoz and his weight cut and a bunch of stuff. But, and also, after that argument Burt had with a UFC official, they're saying that's the reason that Burt quit and left I think he left like halfway through the Rousey pay-per-view. Fighters were told yesterday morning that Watson was sick and went home. So that's why they didn't see him coordinating the shuttles to the airport like he normally does. So, if Watson is really done for the UFC, it's a crappy way to go, man. Watson is one of those individuals that get the UFC a certain unique aspect to the show. Very passionate guy. We always hear him go, "We rolling," and in the videos and walkouts, he's always at the weigh-ins. He's always super enthusiastic. He's fun as hell to watch. There is no one that the UFC could get that could do the job the way Burt does it. So hopefully this isn't the final time that we see him, and he's still he comes back, maybe reconsiders, maybe it's all BS rumor, because again it's rumor. Although some people have confirmed it, but nobody official, I don't believe. But if it's over, it's going to be a small part, but still a part of the UFC that in my mind is going to be missing at every card. I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't know, man. I gotta take a break for like a second, just like 2 seconds. I breathe too much. I talk too quick, I think. By the way, I don't mind any kind of constructive criticism. I love criticism. So if you have anything you think I should change or anything you think I should add, or you got any ideas, hey man, bring them on, dude. I'm an open-minded dude. Even if you want to say that I suck, fine. But you're not hurting me, man. By the way, I do realize that was clearly an invitation to the trolls to talk shit. So bring it on, fuckheads. Let's go. No, I'm joking. Anyway, all right. It's that time again. Time for the weekly rant, and I think one of my buddies will like this one quite a bit. So let's get to it here. Referees in every sport are known to mess up, and some royally. It's horrible. In football, the year that the refs went on strike or whatever, they brought in inexperienced high school refs to the pro football game, to the NFL, and we saw the mess that it brought. It was insanity. The reason they brought high school refs is because college refs are stupid. They're not going to go up to be pro refs and then get screwed out of a job when the other pro refs come back, and then they don't have any college job to come back to. So, a ton of high school refs were used for that, which is freaking ridiculous. In the NBA, we had that Tim Donaghy scandal where he made calls that turned the game a certain way, and he screwed my Phoenix Suns out of a finals appearance. Freaking douchebag. And even the refs aren't that aren't known for doing even when they're not doing garbage, just complete garbage jobs, you still have those officials that make themselves bigger than the game, such as Joey Crawford in the NBA, who seems like it's his goal every single night to steal the show from the game itself. It's ridiculous. But in MMA, we've had instances of incredibly terrible work from some of the refs. The biggest difference, the consequences for their actions results in a fighter taking unnecessary harm. Okay. Take Mark Munoz, for example. He was out for several minutes. Okay? Or not minutes, seconds. Oh, my God. Several minutes, he would have been dead. Sorry. He was out for several seconds before the ref stopped the fight, and that was after Carnero told him that Mark was out. Same goes for Koscheck in a fight that should have been stopped when the ref saw that foam coming out of Josh's mouth like he was having a freaking seizure or whatever. So we've had plenty of garbage refs in MMA. One that comes to mind that not a lot of people are talking about came last year, I believe in March. Went down to Bellator 113 where Freddie Brown steps in on like 12 hours notice to take on Daniel Gallimore, only to get knocked out repeatedly. Look up that fight on YouTube and freak out because you'll see exactly what I'm saying. Freddie gets knocked out. He's on the floor completely unconscious. His arms are limp. I mean, he's basically on his wrist like this on the ground, face down. And then somehow he starts, I don't know, Daniel pushes him or whatever, but Daniel continues to lay the punishment on him until finally the ref stops the fight. But after how much punishment? How much permanent damage did Freddie receive? We don't know. Another example, Steve Mazzagatti, when Frank Mir got Brock Lesnar in that knee bar and Brock had to tap several times before Mazzagatti finally stopped that fight. That could have done severe damage to Lesnar's knee. And we know Mir puts guys in subs with zero mercy. That guy has torn people's shit up before big time. My point is this. When are athletic commissions going to step up and do something about bad refs? Get them better training, or better yet, replace the refs with former fighters that know what to look for. That know when the fight is over, when a guy is done. Are they going to wait until a fighter is severely injured or worse before they make changes? What's it going to take? That's what I want to know. I'll say this. If refs continue to botch calls and let fighters get hurt when someone should be protecting them, someone's going to get messed up real bad. And the refs are going to be put on notice, okay? I mean, it's gotten bad enough to where fighters request that certain refs don't call their fights, including Steve Mazzagatti. Brock Lesnar refused after that fight to ever let Mazzagatti ref his fights. And you can do that. I believe athletic commissions allow you to ask for a change of ref, and they're completely cool with that. And Lesnar definitely did that. So my point is this. You got to do something. You're there to protect the fighters. Don't if you're going to be there and you're going to be in charge of someone's well-being, you have to take your job super seriously. And look, I know Herb Dean's messed up before. I know John McCarthy's messed up before. Everyone's human. That's great. But guys, some of this stuff, it needs to be. Here's my idea. If a ref clearly messes up and they clearly do a crappy job and someone gets beat up or takes too much punishment because of the ref, or there needs to be like a suspension or an educational program where they send you back to do classes or whatever. They got to do something. They got to hold the refs accountable for that, I think. Okay. If you have any ideas, hit me up at Elaw31 on Twitter or my email, Eddie@CrossBonesMMA.com. You have any ideas, we could talk about it. I have no problem bringing on a show. If you want to come on the show and talk about it with me, that's great. I'm totally down for it. Maybe I'll do a research paper on this, and credit's going to go to my friend Andrew Reed. He came up with the idea. So anyway, all right, man, I think it's going to do it. So it's going to do it for Bad Decisions today. Thanks for joining me for the inaugural Monday night edition. This is going to be on Monday nights from now on, so make sure to come back every single week. It's going to be a nice little change. Sunday, I think the Sundays didn't work well because it's just, I don't like to do shit on Sundays. Just like anybody else, it doesn't work on Sunday. I like to kick back and everything, especially during the NFL season. I like to just watch football all day. So it's run on Sundays is over. Maybe once in a while I'll move it back, just like every once in a long while. But Monday night's going to do it for sure. And I know I'm going to be up against, Monday Night Raw and all those things. But, if you're cool, you want to come hang out, totally down for it. Anyway, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Elaw31 and follow the team at CrossBonesMMA. Like the fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/CrossBonesMMA. Go to CrossBonesMMA.com for all of your MMA news. Also, big shout out to a friend of the show, the good guys over at FightBookMMA.com. Check their site out. They got a lot of other shows and a lot of good things on there. Intro music by T. Fowler. If you're listening to this on your iPod, phone, tablet, whatever, T. Fowler actually has a lot of good music. Hasn't blown up yet. He's coming. And speaking of which, of iPods and all that, all your shows on the CrossBones MMA Network, MMA Radio Network. I'm trying to come up with this name right now. The CrossBones MMA Radio Network. That just sounds kind of cool. They're available on SoundCloud for download for free, iTunes and Stitcher. So subscribe to get all of your CrossBones MMA Radio Network content automatically. You can download all these shows, 5 Rounds with John and Eddie, Bad Decisions, Keyboard Warriors, and a couple more shows that are coming very, very soon, all for free. Hit them up on your iPod, go work out, hang out, and enjoy. If you're allowed to wear earphones at your work like I am, just pop on one earphone, have the other one loose, and you can listen to some free MMA talk, entertainment, and all that. Yeah. So come back next week for another episode of Bad Decisions with Eddie Law. For all of us at CrossBonesMMA.com and CrossBonesMMA Radio. I am Eddie Law, saying see you next week. And we're one day closer to death. Make it count.